Deep in the hearts of our forests, there are other worlds of which we have heard but rarely experienced. Unchanged worlds and ununderstood lives, set in an age which is but a memory. We have some 20 million such lives. 20 million tribal people wrapped in the past, innocent beyond belief, laboring without recompense, yet somehow retaining a cheerfulness hard to find elsewhere. 20 million people huddled in small communities like leaves in an unending autumn. And when fever strikes, there is only this time-honored method of appeasing it. It is a settled gloom amidst which hearts somehow flicker and people labor for a livelihood. The livelihood itself is never more than mere subsistence. Everything depends on the forest's bounty. Leaves by the million collected for sale elsewhere. Fruits growing widely, almost miraculously, considering that there is no systematic tending. And the trees themselves, so many trunks providing fuel for the dim homes and the plains below. What there is of agriculture is this: chop down the trees in an effort to clear the land, burn the fallen trunks and the forlorn stumps, sow your seeds. It is a pitiful waste of endeavor which year in and year out forces them to seek fresh patches for the shifting cultivation. Finally, this result of all that labor. What they earn is marginal living. What they are left with is denuded land, accumulating sands of time. The weekly market is the only outlet for the meager produce laboriously collected in the forests. So much a part of the rural economy, the weekly market can indeed be of great benefit to the tribals. But, as a matter of fact, it has been an immemorial scene of exploitation, dominated by the sharp-eyed middlemen of the plains. The Shaukars are concerned, it is grab as much as you can, give as little as possible. For what they buy, these innocents abroad pay a heavy price. The returns for what the tribal people have to offer depend on the mercy of the purchaser, and usually he has one measure when buying and a different one when selling. Then there are the perennial professional moneylenders, offering credit at high rates of interest on condition that the produce goes to them. With no chance of ever clearing the loans, the tribal born in debt lives and dies in debt. It is a debt which in the last analysis is the nation's own. That is why the Indian Constitution has special provisions for the welfare of backward people. It is in discharge of those provisions that schemes have been launched to remake the tribal society while yet preserving its distinctive character. So things are changing in the tribal world. Specially established finance corporations now provide credit to the tribal people. Provision is also made to grant financial assistance. Fixed sums are given to facilitate the clearance of debts contracted through generations of deficit living. A chain of cooperative stores are now providing necessities. The aim here is not paternalism, but partnership, to initiate the tribal people into avenues of self-help, backed by society's helping hand. Even more far-reaching is the establishment of machinery to ensure a fair return for the produce of the tribal people. Again, cooperative societies are the instruments through which the entire system of buying and selling is being reorganized. It is as though a wilting tree takes on fresh leaf, a transition from an autumn and a winter to a hesitant spring. A marginal economy is thus in a period of transformation, its base an adequate return for the existing quantum of produce. To ensure storage facilities for the produce, godowns have now been built in accessible central spots. So, cooperation has replaced exploitation. Freed from a debt load and facilities at hand, the tribal people are now in a position to attempt a deeper change in their lives. To help them, special research training institutes have been established to orient and train welfare personnel. Briefed on the background and pattern of tribal culture, these workers are in a position to help smooth the changeover, even as the values of old are maintained. Together with other extension officers, theirs is a role crucial to the success of the development program for tribal areas. The heart of the program is undoubtedly agriculture. Today, agricultural extension officers are fanning out into tribal areas to help the people take to improved methods of cultivation. A very acute problem faced by the tribal people is the paucity of irrigation facilities. This situation is now on the mend as anicuts and channels take life-giving waters to new and old fields. So, where once a hostile providence granted only a bare crop, the effort of man is bringing in rich dividends. New activities, new kinds of crops and produce, a diversification of the pattern of agriculture. When these gather momentum, the tribal world would have gone through a radical transformation. A good part of the program of welfare consists in encouraging scientific methods of agriculture and better use of available land. The land which has been going to seed is being reclaimed, bunded, terraced, and cultivated afresh. It is a change both in content and form. Yet another part of the race to a better tomorrow is the promotion of diversification of productive activity. The tribal people are now taking to the raising of orchard produce. Among those yielding fruitful results are pineapples and guava and a variety of others. The cultivation of cash crops, such as sugar cane and coffee, is also receiving increasing attention. The tribal areas have a distinct advantage in the pursuit of certain industries, such as silk rearing, because vital raw materials like mulberry leaves are at hand. The Tribal Development Program is providing the impetus, the know-how, and the finance for such activities. Poultry farming too is among the other developments, well on the way to becoming settled features of tribal productivity. A decade and a half ago, no veterinary hospital could have been seen anywhere in the tribal areas. Now, the care of the livestock has passed to trained veterinarians. Slowly, steadily, a new order is emerging here in these cut-off areas where livestock was rare, ill-fed, uncared for. Almost each tribal village now has drinking water facilities. The accent here again is not on philanthropy, but on self-help, the generation of a certain spirit to banish the apathy of the ages. Witness to this new spirit is the construction of roads, of which the principal architects are the people themselves. Roads not merely for easier communication, but roads of freedom, as it were, roads to a better life. Above all, the younger generations. Their lives are no longer confined to the village, the trees, and the shifting fields. In specially established centers, the tribal boys are being trained in a variety of skills, ranging from carpentry to blacksmithing. The potential locked in the tribal boys is thus finding expanding outlets. Hitherto neglected crafts are being revived, while new ones are being introduced. Indeed, the possibilities of the development program are inexhaustible. From pottery to milking, the tribal people are taking to fresh endeavors of beneficial value. In times gone by, milking was considered a sin. Now it is as natural as picking the leaves off the trees and seeking a doctor's help when sick. Seeking a doctor when sick? Indeed, yes. A number of primary health centers and dispensaries have been established. Blessed are the healers. In these regions, they are thrice blessed, for the people here have been victims, not merely of disease, but of quackery, of ill health, and ignorance in equal measure. For them, this is a change of incalculable value. To have a doctor at your very doorstep is a far cry from those days when the thought itself was unbelievable. Perhaps the most striking change in the tribal areas is the coming of education, primary and middle schools in an accelerating program of literacy. Education is free for the tribal children. It is a new deal which promises to banish the illiteracy of centuries, the torpor of the past, the ignorance which has kept a gifted people chained to poverty and backwardness. Special residential schools have been started to provide a rounded education. For a start, the teaching is in tribal dialects. Gradually, it is expanding to embrace the regional languages and the different provinces of knowledge. Residential type schools in particular are popular with the tribal people. There is equal emphasis here on literacy as well as craft work. The dormitories of the schools provide opportunities to acquire new habits, a new discipline, and a will to work. Of equal importance is the attention now being paid to the upliftment of tribal women. From hygiene and sanitation to useful crafts like sewing, to these, the women are no longer strangers. Mahila Mandals are now conducting adult education classes and are effectively supplementing the development programs in a variety of ways. Yes, change has come to the tribal world. The closed society is well on the way to becoming an open one. Life is no more a span to be endured, but a precious gift to be grateful for. A step forward to progress against the backdrop of inheritance.